tonight I saw the movie The Change-Up, starring Ryan Reynolds and Jason Bateman, and this will be my review on it for once. Usually it's just a recommendation, but today I've got an actual review. It is a pretty new movie, I guess. It came out like a week and a couple days ago. It's Sunday night, so not too long ago. I think it came out last Friday. Anyways, let's get to a review here. Essentially, it's just another body-switching movie, so that's really all it is. Ryan Reynolds plays Mitch, Jason Bateman plays Dave. They basically lead completely different lives. Dave is a family man, he's married, he has kids, 3 kids. He works at a law firm, he went to Yale, he worked super hard to get to where he is. And Ryan Reynolds is a single, he's a bachelor, just living his life. He's kind of an unemployed actor, doing parts here and there. He just isn't up to much at all. He smokes weed all day, he just doesn't really do a whole lot. Dave and Mitch have been best friends since elementary school, since they were young kids, but they haven't seen each other for a little while. They haven't really been keeping in touch with them. They get together, go out for some drinks, and then Dave is saying how he's really jealous of Ryan Reynolds because Ryan Reynolds is talking about all these girls he gets with on a regular basis and everything. So then they're peeing in this fountain, and they say at the same time, "I wish I had your life. Just watch the trailer, it explains everything." And then they switch lives. It's a basic movie from then on out. The plot is just the most generic thing like you'll ever see, ever. The things go wrong. Dave and Mitch, they have to live each other's lives, of course, because they're in one another's bodies, and they have to fulfill the task. Like, Mitch has to live the life of a lawyer, and Dave has to become accustomed to not have a family to take care of, and he can just let loose, basically, and that's, I guess he's given this opportunity to do that, but then he has to learn a lesson, and it's really a generic movie, which is what I'm going to get to now, what I thought of this movie. Going into this, I thought, okay, it might be decent. We've seen this change-up thing a million times, but like Ryan Reynolds and Jason Bateman both said like 5 times each on every talk show they were on, because I did catch them quite a few times on Jimmy Fallon, Jay Leno, David Letterman, Conan, all these shows. They said it like every time, like, yeah, this body switching thing has been done 1,000 times. We all know that. They're like, but no one's ever done an R-rated version one. So I thought, okay, maybe it'll be somewhat funny because they push some boundaries or something. And so that's what I was kind of hoping for. I knew it would be a somewhat generic plot, but I was hoping that jokes would be able to save it, but unfortunately they didn't. The jokes were pretty much shit. I chuckled a few times throughout the movie. I maybe laughed out loud once, maybe twice. But you know a movie's not necessarily going to be something you enjoy when the opening scene shows the genitals of 2 babies and projectile shitting into a man's mouth. That's not exactly a good tone to set for the rest of the movie, and I didn't find it funny. It's not like I feel like I'm too mature for gross out comedy like that. Like, I usually find stupid gross stuff funny, but this just was like, okay, this is just kind of creepy and awkward. For probably the first half an hour when Jason Bateman and Ryan Reynolds switch bodies, you can't even really tell that they've switched bodies, aside from the fact that Ryan Reynolds' character is, well, Ryan Reynolds as the person in the movie, he's no longer swearing. Now Jason Bateman as the person is swearing. And that's essentially it. That's how you can tell they change. Now they do a bit of a better job later on in the movie, just the way Ryan Reynolds in Jason Bateman's body, with the way Mitch neglects Dave's children. He doesn't really pay attention to them. He calls the daughter by the wrong name or whatever, he mispronounces it. And he just doesn't pay attention to the wife and all sorts of stuff like that. So I guess they do a bit of a better job later on, but it really isn't. All they do to make this an R-rated movie is they swear a lot. They've got nudity. There's a gross part with this like 60-year-old porn star lady, because Jason Bateman in Ryan Reynolds' body, because he's an actor, he shows up at a movie shoot, and it turns out it's a Lorno, a light porno. So there's just so many things that they try and do to make this funny, but it really fails because all they do is try and gross you out, swear a lot, and all this stuff, and that really can't save a movie for very long. Maybe if the movie is somewhat good, but this just isn't. There was very little I liked about this movie. I can't even think of a single thing I liked. There was a couple of times where I chuckled, like I said, but that was about it. Not worth going to pay to see, absolutely not. Definitely wait to see it for free. Not a good movie. Fortunately, Jason Bateman has Horrible Bosses this summer to kind of save it, because that was getting somewhat good critical reception. I very much enjoyed the movie. I had a good time with it. And then Ryan Reynolds has Green Lantern. I think it made a decent amount, but it was getting poor reviews. So Ryan Ryan Reynolds just, I guess, not having a very good summer. I don't know what, how good of reviews this movie got, but I'm guessing not very good ones, and if it did, I will be quite surprised. But I do not recommend checking this movie out until it is free for you. Absolutely not worth paying for. It's a pretty big letdown. I'm a fan of both Ryan Reynolds and Jason Bateman, but unfortunately they just couldn't pull it together in this one, and just don't go see it until it's free for you. No, don't even rent it when it comes out. If it's free on Netflix, okay. If it's free on a movie channel, okay. If it's if someone else is willing to pay for you to go see it, maybe. But just don't waste a lot of time and money on this movie. It's very mediocre at best. I'd give it maybe 4, maybe even 3.5 out of 10. Just not a good movie. Wouldn't recommend it. Yeah, so that's about it. Can't say, I don't know what to say about this movie. That's about it. See you next week.